Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you so much, as always, for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. First of all, our thoughts and prayers with everybody down in Florida. Please do stay safe with the hurricane headed your way. We are thinking of you and just hope that you do hunker down and stay safe with this big storm. We're thinking of everybody in the storm's path. Today, we do have a great listener question show. Pam and Ricky join me, and we talk about the Wine and Dine Half Marathon post-race party, what to expect with that. We get a question about the best ADRs to make for a guest headed to Disneyland for the very first time, celebrating New Year's Eve at Disneyland on the West Coast. They're going to have a great time. We get a question about, or actually an email about, a theory as to why a ship might be someone's favorite ship in the Disney Cruise Line fleet. We have a great discussion with that. And we have a quick, brief discussion on the Cake Bake Shop prices, because we're going to talk about that on Friday's show a little bit more in length. This and much more coming your way on today's podcast. Don't forget, today's show always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make this show possible. I can't thank you enough for that. You can support us as well, just $5 a month. And for that support, you get our bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2569 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great midweek here as you join us on the Be Our Guest Podcast. And of course, as we kick off today's show, as it is midweek, we know that things are getting a little bit rough down in Central Florida. And of course, across all of the Florida Peninsula. So we are thinking about all of our friends, and we have a lot of them down in Florida. Please do stay safe and do what you can to protect your family, your friends, and your property. We are, most of all, thinking of everybody down there. Of course, we always go down there to have fun. That's our place where many of us vacation and make so many great memories, but we know lots of folks do call that place home. A lot of our lizards are down there, friends, family. We're thinking about you. We're praying for you. So hang in there, because Milton looks like a big one this time. So it's hitting today or tonight. So do stay safe. And if you need anything, please do let us know. But today we're here with you. We're going to continue on and answer your listener questions as we do, and try to bring a smile to your face as you're doing that prep, or maybe just kind of hanging out. Hopefully you have power, but if you don't, listen to us on your phone just to pass some time. So joining us from themouseforless.com and a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, your friend and mine, we have Ricky. Ricky, happy Wednesday. What's up?
Happy Wednesday. And yes, I am so hoping that everyone stays safe. Obviously my family is all down in the Orlando-ish area. So, hoping that everything stays safe for them as well. I did offer my house up to my family, but they were like, no, we're going to ride the storm out. I said, okay, well, I'm here if you need me. So, I've definitely put the offer out there, but, I hope that everybody stays safe, takes this one seriously. Looks like people are, because this one definitely looks like it's no joke. So, my thoughts and prayers are with everyone down in Florida right now. And, because it looks like it's going to wallop the whole state. So, just thinking of everybody down there for sure.
We do record this one on Monday afternoons, kind of around dinner time. And as of now, it looks like Orlando International will be closed Wednesday morning. So as the show comes out, it'll be closed at that point, and will reopen when they deem things will be safe. At this point, Tampa Airport is also closed. So in Port Canaveral, you can follow them as well to kind of see the updates there. So just my best advice is to monitor social media outlets to get the latest information. Social media can be a place where a lot of times it can be trash, and, especially with when your football team, and just last Saturday, oh man, I had to stay off social media. Every team I looked at lost, but This is the time social media can keep you up to date so that you know the latest information to keep you safe and to keep you updated with possibly dynamic travel plans over the next week or so. So Pam Forrester, I know you have some travel plans coming up yourself. She's the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Pam, happy Friday or happy Wednesday. What's going on?
Happy Wednesday. Yeah, I do. We have a conference next week at Walt Disney World, so we'll see where that lands. But I'm really just thinking of the people who live there all the time because they have to deal with this, and it's so hard to predict what will happen. But yes, the airport is closed Wednesday, but they also said that they would open as safe as it was able to do so. So I like that too. Make sure if you have travel plans coming up and you're planning on keeping those, just keep in touch with airline, hotels, whatnot. I know our team has been on the phone sort of moving and shifting vacations, and hopefully if you have one planned that's going to be over Wednesday, you can do that. And I think anything after that point in time, you're just going to need to see how it develops, what happens. So.
All right. So if you are down in Central Florida and you are at Walt Disney World, hunkering down, riding out the storm, I'm just going to ask you just so that we can kind of all experience this and kind of see the updates, kind of boots on the ground. This is a great opportunity for us to I'll be there with you. Use our clubhouse and go over to beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. We have the live from Walt Disney World channel there. Just give us updates so we know that you're safe and what's going on. If you can post pictures, we can kind of all see what's going on there because you're there at a historic time and we can kind of all know that you're safe, check in with you, kind of see what the news, and we can report it here on the show. We just like to see what's going on there. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, we'd all be there with you and check that out. So if you're with us on Sunday night, you should join us on Sunday nights. If you don't, it's a great wrap to your weekend. Scott and I get together. We open up the phone lines. We talk about whatever's kind of in the news. It's always up to you guys. You give us calls. We just talk about whatever. Of course, we got the menu for the Cake Bake Shop, which is opened after 17 years of construction. Well, it's not open yet. It could open in the next 10 years. I don't know. But it looks like the walls will come down soon.
Maybe.
But we got the menu. And importantly, we got the prices of the items. Once I got the defibrillator off the floor there, we did talk about them, and it was pretty shocking. But Len has we're going to talk kind of about that on Friday a little bit. That's not going to be the whole show because that's what we talked about on Sunday night, which you heard which you'll hear the replay tomorrow. It was a fun show talking about that. $9 chocolate milk. But so Len has a question. He says, I heard the construction walls are down and the menus posted to the cake shop at the boardwalk. What do you think the chances are that it'll be open for our trip the first week of December? So, Ricky, this is kind of your thing.
Yeah.
Do you think?
I mean,
December?
I would say if the walls are down and if, the menus are up, I mean, I would say that they're probably getting close-ish to opening. It's early October now, so I would say by December, you probably have a good shot of it being open. It looks like that would be the case. If I had to guess, I would say the end of this month, maybe beginning of next month, based off of, timelines of how long it might take for them to get training and stuff like that, because we haven't seen any cast members going in or out of that restaurant yet. So they may still be working on the inside of it. But yeah, I mean, we're getting closer and closer. So if you'd like to spend $18 on a kid's peanut butter and jelly, I guess there's your place to go.
Who said it's a kid's peanut butter and jelly? I just had an Uncrustable here before the show to power through 2 awesome episodes.
Hey, yesterday, Brian and I totally had peanut butter and jellies for lunch. So no shade on the PB&Js. I'm just saying.
PB&J might be one of the unsung heroes of American society.
100%. I would totally agree with that with you. Yes.
I seriously want to see this PB&J. I mean,
it's probably the fanciest PB&J I've ever seen in my entire life.
But I mean, the thing is, like a PB&J, at its best, is just basic. Like, true. I think the more you fancy up a PB&J, the more you do it a disservice. That's a Mikeism right there.
I mean, the question is will this fancy PB&J have crust on or crust off? Because that's going to be an important question. I mean, obviously the Uncrustable is the unsung hero of the PB&J because
And Uncrustable is awesome, right? But I also love crust. I mean, because you know what? Like you go to Texas Roadhouse, right? And you get the baked potato, right? You get the loaded baked potato as a side. Dude, that skin with all that salt that almost stops your heart is one of the best parts of the potato.
Total side note, has nothing to do with this conversation, really, but I just learned how to make baked potatoes in the air fryer, and let me tell you, it will change your life. Those are the best baked potatoes I've ever had in my entire
I think I'm the only person in America that does not have an air fryer.
So I did not have an air fryer until I ordered a car seat base for Lucy on Amazon, and they accidentally sent me an air fryer. So I wasn't planning on getting one either, but I got one for free basically. So I was like, okay, I'll use the air fryer.
So Ricky's got a hot air fryer. Okay, so Pam, real quick, and then we got to go on to the next question. PB&J better with crust, without crust?
So for me, it depends on the bread.
I love our show.
I know, but so if it's like a good sourdough or something like that, I definitely want the crust on. And if it's like a good wheat bread too, a good one, not like, some are sketch. Some are not really wheat bread. Right. Some are like brown. It's just like, and I'm like, that's not necessarily whole wheat bread.
You're masking yourself as wheat bread today.
Right, yeah. Right. It's like wheat adjacent. Yes. But yeah, so if it's like a real and it has like seeds and stuff on it, like I do like the crust on that too. Now, but here's the bigger question to go back around on this. Are we crunchy or creamy peanut butter? Because I think there's only one answer.
There is only one answer, and I think I'm probably wrong. And that's creamy for me.
No.
Yes, it is. Yes, I told you I was probably wrong. But I also toast my bread. I like a good toasted peanut butter and jelly. So it's gotta be toasted.
I go either peanut butter. I mean, the creamy is nice and easy to smear, but the crunchy, I can do that too in a pinch. It doesn't matter. I love peanut butter. God, you guys go. Okay, anyway, we got to get to the next question. But I will say, Rhonda Lee says, "Boom, Pam's right."
This has turned into a really weird podcast.
This is a great dude. We're gonna start the Peanut Butter Lovers podcast. And sorry if you're allergic to our show at this point.
I love this.
Yes,
this is great.
I do too.
Dude, I'm about ready to go get it.
Jellies.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I'm about ready to go down and get.
Is where it's at if you're really looking for that fancy peanut butter
raspberry.
I'm saying right here, I'm pulling it right out of my trash can. I just had this. I mean, boom, right there, the Uncrustable wrapper. It's in my belly right now. But I'm about to go down to Dairy Queen and get me a peanut butter blizzard because I'm telling you, man, it's you're hurting me right now.
So Melissa just game changed too. She says her daughter likes air fried Uncrustables.
Oh my God, here we go.
Oh my goodness, I need to try that now. That sounds amazing.
Well, in about 15 comments earlier, she says she likes her PB&J with Doritos inside, but also Lay's work. Okay. So we got to get back on track here because we're going to get drawn out of the places and travel category and be a foodie podcast. But we're not, this is not foodie. This is PB&J's, but PB&J, again, underrated all the time. Kaylee has a question. Hey, Mike, I have a couple questions involving wine and dine park reservations, virtual queues, and a couple of other things I'm hoping you can help with. Okay, here we go. We're a group of 5 moms. We're running the Wine and Dine Half Marathon for the first time. That's awesome. By the way, if you get hungry on the course, Uncrustables power you up every time. Just saying. This show brought to you by Smuckers.
Yeah, exactly. Can we get a sponsorship today? Like, seriously, let's go.
Unofficially, but here we go. Contact me. It has to be good. All right. One of the moms is a military spouse, and she purchased tickets for the group. This is her first time to the parks. Well, thank you for her service. That's awesome. Will we need to do anything to verify her status? I don't think so at that point, right? She's got the tickets. They're good to go, right, Pam? I haven't dealt with those tickets that I know of.
We don't deal with those tickets because we can't.
Yeah, we can't.
We can't sell them. So if you pick them up at the base, I believe you do have to show some kind of ID right. Even when you get to the park.
Or do you? I thought you had to do it to buy them. I didn't know you had to do them at the park.
Yeah,
I think you do because you can't. Someone can't just buy them and then give them to somebody
that
else.
Makes sense.
They want to prevent that.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I believe so.
So bring the military active. I think it's active or retired military ID. I believe.
Yeah, and she can check with wherever she bought them from.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're only allowed to buy a certain number per year too. So I do know that, but we don't have all the specifics on this because we can't sell those tickets.
Yep.
No.
All right, the next question. The tickets require park reservations, kind of like us with annual passes, if you have annual passes, which we've made for Animal Kingdom. That's Sunday. We would like to go to Epcot around 6 p.m. that evening for the post-race party, and we would love to ride Guardians. Can we try for the virtual queue Sunday morning, even though we have a reservation at Animal Kingdom? Can we purchase the multi-pass so we can hop on some rides at Animal Kingdom and Epcot with minimal lines, even though we don't have a park hopper? Okay, so I'm trying to think. Well, let's see if this clears it up. Finally, what kind of line situation will they have for Guardians of the Galaxy during the party? Still virtual queue or lightning lane, or will there be a standby option? Any other tips you have for Wine and Dine weekend, please share. A few of us have done Marathon weekend, but this race is a new one for all of us. See you there, Kaylee. I apologize if this is a repeat. I tried to email a couple of weeks ago, but it got kicked back. Okay, so now I'm trying to think. I'm wondering if she's talking about because Wine and Dine has that post-race party. Is that, do you think what she's talking about?
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering if she's talking about
think,
after hours event, because that'd be different. Because so for that, I'm guessing that Guardians would be a standby for that post-race party for
if
the
it's
Wine
open.
And Dine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to last year because I know obviously it was Guardians was open last year, and I don't recall what happened with the party last year, but something tells me that it was standby.
I think that was the first time it was ever standby. I think that's right. That party it was such a big deal that it was on social media. It blew up because the first time it ever was standby was that party.
I think you're right.
Like that. I'm trying to remember.
That's why I think it's sticking out in my memory. Yeah.
And I will also say that there have been some after party events, not saying that it is this, but some after party events where it was not open too. You know, I don't know if it was just like, I can't remember which one, but I know there was some event that took place where it was not open. So it may not have been that, but chances are they're not going to have the virtual queue open for that. So I don't think you'll have to worry about it that morning. I think the other thing to note is that if you don't have park hoppers, you can't hop you wouldn't be able to buy Lightning Lane multi-park without the park hopper. That there wouldn't be any reason for that.
Well, and here's the thing too, that party is not part of it doesn't have anything to do with your Magic Your Way tickets. That is
right.
So if you run the half marathon, you get that ticket included with your race registration. You can also buy that ticket for a guest through Run Disney. That is something you can purchase a la carte. But it is not a Magic Your Way. A park hopper will not get you over to that. You cannot hop into that party. That party is a hard ticket event. You get it for running the half marathon, or you can buy it for a guest. So you cannot use it for there will be no lightning lanes that night.
Right,
exactly.
So this is don't worry about your question about going to Animal Kingdom in the morning and trying to schedule lightning lanes for that evening. You will not be able to do that.
No.
So that is not on the table.
To kind of clarify, although it's not a huge clarification, but this was posted on the Plan Disney page in March of 2024. It does say, well, I can't say for certain what 2024 will include for the after party. In the past, popular attractions like Guardians of the Galaxy, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, Frozen, and Test Track have been available. Obviously, Test Track won't be available this year, but it does look like Guardians will be. I'm trying to figure out, though, if it will be available for just standby. But the way that sounds, it sounds like it will be standby. So that's my guess.
Yeah, my best advice is just go to Animal Kingdom that morning as you want to do that. Do as much as you can. And if you want to get, Lightning Lane for that day over there to just minimize your waits at Animal Kingdom so that you can, get through Safari and Festival of Lion King and, what have you, whatever you want to do over there, that's fine. But the party is a separate ticket. It's meant to be kind of a celebration for the runners after the race and the race weekend. And it's to go and it's sample it's Wine and Dine half marathon. So basically it's there to have the food and wine kiosks open so you can snack and drink and select attractions will be open with minimal waits, but you won't have
Yeah,
to. You won't have to. You won't have to worry about lightning lanes. That's kind of the goal of the party. Just kind of
exactly.
walk on things.
Most of these tickets that are considered standalone tickets, which are like for parties or Mickey's Very Merry or Mickey's Not So Scary, you don't have to worry about the park hopping aspect of it because lightning lanes aren't available during that time anyways. So if you have a park ticket that's a single park ticket, you can only visit one park. It does not have park hopping included. You don't have to worry about that because lightning lanes won't be offered for these standalone party tickets. So
I just realized
We
something
like it.
too. By the way, as I'm looking at our 3-shot here on the video, and you can check it always out. Check it out at youtube.com/BRGuestPodcast. We are a video podcast. If you ever want to see us, I don't know why you would, but you can. I'm wearing a purple shirt. I mean, Smuckers. Come on now, like, dude. Dude, I look like a big grape. I'm in character. I mean, come on. It has to be good. Come on.
If you wear a peanut butter and jelly costume, I think then we got it.
I think I might still have that app on my phone with that dancing banana from back in the day because I used to just crack Mallory up when she was like 1.5. Like when she would be crying in the back seat screaming, I'd hit the peanut butter and jelly guy and he'd be like, peanut butter jelly time. Remember that thing? That was like all the rage. She would start cracking up. That's the only thing to get her to stop crying. Anyway, I'm old. All right, she's 16 now. Sean has a question. It says, "Hey, Monday, BOGP crew." Okay. I don't know if that's a typo or if he's just super clever. I can start booking dining on Wednesday. Hope you were successful this morning. Or if you're listening on Tuesday night, get ready. Okay. I hope to book a candlelight processional dining package for Beer Garden. When I look online, it doesn't look like packages are available to purchase yet. When do they normally go on sale? Should I book a Beer Garden reservation this week just to make sure I have it, then cancel after the dining packages are released, and I hopefully get what I want at that time? Thanks for your guidance. Sean, he's in the mitten. Go Lions, Tigers, and no Bears. Oh my.
There you go.
Dude, Sean is clever. Look at that. That's pretty slick. I like that sign off. All right, Ricky, give some thoughts.
So this year has definitely been a little more drawn out for the Candlelight Processional. It is certainly one of the most searched topics I know on the Mouse for Less. When is Candlelight Processional coming? When are the narrators being announced? Especially because I think that it was shared that obviously the window for that 60-day window for making dining reservations is rapidly approaching. I have a feeling that Disney had probably planned on announcing the Candlelight Processional information this week. I have a feeling they're probably not, as of right now, going to be announcing it this week. I have a feeling it'll probably be at the earliest the end of this week.
By the way, stop. Breaking news. It is currently 76 and partly cloudy at Cape Canaveral, Florida, as I monitor the weather here in the studio. But go ahead.
Thanks for that. Yeah. So I have a feeling if there's not a ton of damage that happens in the Orlando area, they might swing in and do the Candlelight Processional announcement on Friday. However, I don't see it happening until probably next week at the earliest at this point. So you haven't missed it. They haven't released Candlelight Processional dining packages yet. So I mean, here's the deal. The reservations for Candlelight Processional dining package and the reservations for just regular ADRs are two separate buckets. Cool. So if you make a reservation for Beer Garden right now, it's not going to even matter for a Candlelight Processional. You can't transfer it into a Candlelight Processional dining package if you're there and be like, I'd like to use this. So I would just wait until they actually announce when Candlelight Processional dining packages will be released. But that's just me. Unless you really, really, really have to eat at Beer Garden and don't care, and if you can get in later and see Candlelight Processional maybe by standby and you want to go that route, then that's up to you. But I would personally just wait until Candlelight Processional dining packages come out. But yeah, I have a feeling that they were probably supposed to be announced this week. I don't think they're going to be now. So
they might.
I could be wrong. I could have
just. They might. Just trust me. They've killed people like me with things like that during crazy times.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I just don't know that a lot of people will be working at Disney in their media relations department at the moment. So
That's true, but they
Yeah.
sometimes do
Which
that.
would be usually when how they would post that stuff. So yeah.
So yeah, and Sean, I will say this: go Lions, go Tigers. But here's the thing: I will tell you as far as your other question, the other stuff outside of sports, the thing you got going in your favor is that you're going after Beer Garden. Beer Garden
True.
is not a high demand restaurant, even though it is awesome. What you're going to hear on Friday's show, it's one of my picks.
It is one. It is a good.
It's a great place to
Yes.
go to eat, but
Yes.
it is not on everybody's radar. So
No.
everybody that's listening to today's show, all millions of us, I won't tell you, but our numbers are in the millions right now. Don't tell people so that we keep it in between us.
Gotcha.
Just saying. Otherwise, it blows the whole thing. Okay, next question. It is from Robert Bouchard in the chat, and he is tuned in on Facebook, and we appreciate him so very much. Says Disneyland first timers for New Year's Eve. You guys didn't even get excited, dude. He's going to He's going to Disneyland for the first time and New Year's Eve. That's twice. Okay, two.
I
go.
said
Two go
woo.
on. Okay,
You
woo.
missed it.
Okay, I
Yeah.
missed it. Okay, anyway. Need recommendations for ADRs. Reservation window is quickly approaching on November 1st. Staying at the Disneyland Hotel. Booked through the excellent Ben Lappin at the Magic for Less. I will say he is most excellent.
He is absolutely excellent.
He's going to be
Yes.
my cabin mate on a cruise coming up soon.
Ooh,
I know.
fun.
We're going to have to dress like pirates or something. I think
Oh my
we're gonna do
gosh.
we have a plan.
I'm a little worried about this actually.
Well, dude, I mean, he already he's got the for real beard and all.
He
Like,
does have the
I
for
mean,
real beard
he
going.
shows up and he's already 95% there. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I can look like a pirate, but like Pam won't be there to put on the finishing touches, so I don't know how it's gonna work. But anyway, back to the question.
Well, ask Ben to help. I'm sure he would
dude,
be
that'd
happy
be.
to.
No, I'm not. That's I can't go there. Just can't do it. So, Disneyland Hotel, by the way, dude, you were doing it so right because that's my favorite hotel. First time to Disneyland, and Melissa already said it in the chat. You gotta go Blue Bayou if you can get. Isn't there a song something Bayou like I could sing something Bayou, but
yeah, like a Linda Ronstadt
yes,
song
but I'm
or
not gonna go there.
something like that.
But I could. But Blue Bayou is the greatest. I mean, you got to go there, and I'm telling you got to get a Monte Cristo and a Hurricane. And I'm telling you what, you are in Disneyland bliss. It is perfection.
Should
So
you
that's
say
mine.
get a hurricane with the hurricane? Never.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Too soon. Bad timing. I shouldn't have said that, but it is the drink to have there. I'm not even a drinker, but like you have to have one at the Blue Bayou. And it's not even probably a good one because it comes out of like a tapper. Like it's not like they even mix it. Like it's like they get a Coke Zero out of the machine. They just go to there's like Diet Coke, Sprite, Coke Zero, Hurricane, and they just fill your thing. But who cares? You're having a Monte Cristo, you're having steak fries, you're having a Hurricane, and boats are going by and you hear crickets. It's perfect.
Yep,
I mean,
it is. And I looked it up.
So
Roy Orbison is the original
there you go.
songwriter. I was like, I remembered my mom playing the Linda Ronstadt version. I must be of that era of some point. So yes.
We try. Okay, so that's my pick for an 80. There's so many good places to eat at Disney. I mean,
There are.
I used to say it's all about the counter service, which it really is, in the snacks. But there's so many good ADRs to grab. So Pam, give a couple.
So I think that Lamplight Lounge is something that is definitely on the list of things to try. You can even get sometimes a package there depending on what's being offered at that point in time, but it sort of sits out there on the water. It's beautiful. It's over at Disney's California Adventure. If you're looking for fine dining, Napa Rose is definitely the place to go. You're going to have a fantastic meal there. They have great wine, great beer, great other drinks, but their food is just spectacular and it's a fun time. It is pricey, but I think it's worth absolutely trying if you're looking for that kind of meal. Another thing that I think is unique to Disneyland and something that is definitely worth doing is Goofy's Kitchen. It's just fun, first of all. I mean, it really is just a fun location. They have their breakfast buffet is extensive and it is way more than breakfast. On top of it, they have peanut butter and jelly pizza, s'mores.
We
pizza.
can't get away from it. because of my purple shirt
It's
today.
gonna weave itself throughout our podcast.
It has to
for
be
sure.
good. I'm just saying. That's the title of today's
Right?
show.
They do. But then they have like chicken and waffles and all different kinds of things, salads. It's way more than breakfast foods if you want to try that. I think you're gonna love the Disneyland Hotel. I think especially for a Disney fan, it is the place to stay, really, because it has so much nostalgia and there's just so much to see and do there. We also love Grand Californian, and the new Pixar place is fantastic as well. So lots of good choices there now, but I think you made a great choice staying at the Disneyland Hotel.
Everybody's raving about
Stay at the other ones in the future.
Yeah, Great Maple. Everybody's raving about Great Maple
That's
at Pixar
true.
Place. I mean,
Great
I haven't
Maple
been
is
there, but
fun.
everybody's raving about that place.
Yeah.
So.
And to answer
Yeah, we
Len's
did.
question, by the way, it is creamy pizza, not crunchy pizza for the peanut butter fans. Sorry, just thought I'd
What?
share that.
Pizza.
He's asking, is it yes, the peanut butter and jelly pizza. Is it creamy peanut butter or crunchy peanut butter?
You
it's
said something
creamy.
about pizza. What are you talking about pizza?
Did you not hear that Pam said that they had PB&J pizza on the menu at Goofy's?
No, I wasn't
Were you
paying
not paying
attention.
attention?
I was
Yeah,
reading,
there you
sorry, I was
go.
reading the chat. My bad.
Yeah,
I got
see,
caught.
I was gonna say, I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you playing with me? Did you
I'm
not
lost.
just hear her
Sorry.
mention peanut butter and jelly?
Dude, sometimes the chat gets going so fast. I'm trying to do everything. I'm like at master control here. It's hard. Sorry.
Well,
tough.
I answered the question, so
I'm like, what are you
it
talking?
was
Are
an
you drunk?
important
I'm like, you
question
talking
that
about
needed
peanut
to
butter and
be
jelly
answered.
pizza? What are you talking about? You're drunk.
Yes.
I heard peanut butter and jelly, and I started thinking about my purple shirt again. I got crazy. Sorry.
Pizza, peanut butter and
Okay,
jelly
I'm changing
pizza.
the next question because there's something. There's too many. Anyway. Yeah. The next question. The next question had had a whole bunch of
Questions about peanut butter and jelly?
No, it had a whole bunch of a lot of
Acronyms?
math. It had a ton of
Oh,
math, but we might have to
math.
answer it
Oh.
because we're not to the end of the show yet. So maybe. Here's a question. Actually, it's a comment from Kathy, one of my great guests over at the Magic for Less, and she was asking me a question about because it's about Lookout Key and going to Lighthouse Point, and she said, "So I'm getting ready to book my cruise." And I need to know, as everybody asks, like if you're going to Castaway Key, everybody wants starboard side, so you look out over Castaway Key, right? She's like, where do I book on the ship? Because I want to be looking out. And I'm like, to be honest, the ship hasn't been there that many times. I'm not 100% positive. And I was like, I'm going to have to ask Pam Forrester. And she came back and she said, we're at Lookout Key today. I want to clarify something I mentioned in an earlier email concerning which side of the ship faces the island when docked. I had seen several blogs covering the island, and the ship was always facing the island on the port side. However, when we docked today, the starboard side faced the island. I asked one of the officers if that was normal. He said it depended on what the captain wanted to do. Sometimes it was parked with the port side facing the island, and sometimes starboard. Today, they were doing some painting on the starboard side, so parked it with the starboard side next to the dock. Sometimes the wind direction will dictate which side faces the island. It sounds like there's no guarantee which side of the island will be facing. Just thought your guests might like to know. Thanks, Kathy. So Pam, is that more likely at Lighthouse Point that it's kind of more left to the captain's discretion? Because I know it's kind of, they always point so they can get out of Castaway Key. Like they always kind of back in there, but
They do. At this point, they do.
Yeah.
When they first started, they didn't. They pulled in.
Yeah, that's right.
But yes, this is what I've heard about Lookout Point. That it absolutely can depend on a number of different things. So there's no right or wrong in terms of choosing a side that is guaranteed, and they're absolutely not guaranteed. I think as travel agents, one of the things that comes up sometimes is is something like this guaranteed? And unless there's something written, it is not guaranteed, especially when it comes to cruising, because so many things can impact a cruise. But in this particular case, it's really not, because there are so many different things that can influence that. The great news is regardless of whatever side your stateroom is on, if you go up top, you'll have a great view of the island. And the other thing to note is, unlike at Castaway Key, where you're a little closer, I think, to seeing some things, when you're at Lookout Point there, Lookout Right? Why do I always feel like no matter how I say that,
look out
I'm
Key at
screwing it
Lighthouse
up?
Point. I know it's so.
Light-
They try to mess us up on
Look out
purpose.
K at Lighthouse Point. Yeah,
nope,
that's it.
nope.
Nope.
See, you just did it.
Did I?
You can't do that when I'm taking a drink of soda. It's I almost spit it out on the air. It's Lookout Key. You said Lookout K, like some kind of rookie.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm a rookie.
It almost went out my nose.
Key.
When you
I
said
know,
Lookout
but
K,
that's
I'm
the
like, oh my God, you just made soda almost come out my nose because you said K. Are you kidding me?
But yeah, so that's the case here. But when you're there, you're not quite as close, and you don't have. It's like Castaway Key has this sort of expansive half moon sort of view. It's not quite the same when you're there. So
that's what I was thinking, because it is more of a traditional, like it's more of like a dock than a pier, right? I mean, it's just like it's like a slip almost, right? It's not like, I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
It just seems seems like it's easier to park like either way there. Well, I guess it's the same at Castaway Key, but it's just more traditional.
Yes, definitely it is, because you're sort of parking like right here.
Like we know how to park. Like we know how to park 1,000-foot cruise ship. Yes. My wife, like I can barely back the my wife's Blazer in the driveway because it has the backup camera. I'm so old I can't use a backup camera. When I use the backup camera, I'm all over the place. With my Jeep that's from 2012 with no cameras, no electronic anything, where I just turn my shoulder or turn my neck, I can back that thing in like a champ. I hate that stupid camera.
Our car has some way like of where the cameras all assemble the views.
I have no idea how that works. That's
it's like
God.
looking at it from all,
yeah.
And the first time we were like, where is this
It's just
picture?
God showing your. I know, how does that work? I'm still again old because I've seen like those things and I'm like, where's that camera? Because is that thing like in space? I mean, like, how does that work?
Stitches it all together.
I know.
Yeah, you get an overhead view of where you're parking, and I'm always like, then at some point I'm like, I just became content with. I don't understand. It's there though, and I use it all the time. Now I don't know that I'd be able to drive without it. Like no matter where I am, when I'm like pulling into a spot, I can see the lines on either side of me. When I'm pulling into my garage, I can see. It's crazy, but I'm just like, it must stitch all the pictures together. So.
It's gotta. Who knows? I like my good old Jeep with no cameras. And by the way, Melissa says she just likes to watch the dock runners at the other ports from her veranda. So she loves, getting that is. But that's bad mojo, because someday it could be you that's trying to do the 100-yard dash. That's like, oh my God, my watch, I didn't get the right time zone, and I'm an hour behind, and you hear. That sounds like my ship. Yeah, you don't want to hear that anyway. Shout out to Kim, our favorite photographer at Walt Disney World, getting ready to see somebody named Joey Fatoni. Just kidding.
I'm gonna stab you.
Everybody.
No! Stop it.
I'm like on a sugar high for my Uncrustable.
But you know what? He did sing I Want It That Way last night, so which is Backstreet Boys. So him and AJ are friends.
All right, how about one last question for today's show? It's actually, I think,
I do know he's your neighbor, Melissa.
He is? That guy was on all the game shows for a while.
Yes.
Isn't he the guy that was on all the game shows and like hosted them?
Yes, he was. He's also friends with the Impractical Jokers guys, so he's on that show a lot too.
1 year Christmas cards went out with Joey Fatone and I, because I had met him.
Really? I'm like, this show is so random. One year my Christmas card was
I'd be like, I got a picture with Joey Fatone. It's fine.
We've had breakfast pizza. No, not breakfast pizza. Peanut butter pizza. Mm-hmm. We're trying to be sponsored by Smuckers, and Pam's Christmas card with Joey Fatone. Fatone, whatever. And he ran a race. I think he did the marathon 1 year.
He's been, and then he actually used to have I think he still has a food truck, but he used to have like a restaurant, or it was in the mall. It was hot dogs. It was called Fat Ones.
I want to say maybe he was at Disneyland at the Italian pizza place last year when we were there.
It's possible.
Over the race.
Yeah, he's a big Disney fan.
He goes
Disney
all
fan. The time.
Yeah.
I want to say he was there.
I actually read that he just met his girlfriend at their first date was at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, which I was like, oh my God, that makes me love you even more. That's fantastic.
All right,
that sounds like a bad first date. I'm just saying, like, that's not. That's not a good, like a theme park. Yes. Halloween Horror Nights. No.
It gets you to, I mean, snuggle up next to somebody, I guess.
See,
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's
Well,
a-
on my first date, I'm not sure I'm wanting to do that. I'm like,
Yes.
we're still just figuring things out on the first date. Wham or no wham?
That's what he was thinking. He wanted hashtag sexy sex.
Oh my
This
God, this show
so
is totally
bad.
taking a turn.
Oh, here we go. Last, it's a question. It just says Disney Wish Theory. So here we go. It's from Matthew. Hey, Mike, Scott, Scotty G, Ricky, and Pam. You were talking about the Disney Cruise Line fleet and which ships are people's favorite. You said that if you went on the Magic or the Dream class ship, your favorite ship won't be the Wish. But if your first cruise is on the Wish, then you'll love the Wish. So we had a conversation. Maybe we had this on a Sunday night. That it tends, we think we've come up with a theory that if you sail the Wish first, you fall in love with the Wish. But if you don't sail the Wish first, you tend to enjoy the other ships better. Maybe. That's kind of a theory that I think we had. Here's what he says. I hate to burst your bubble, but this past BOGP Cruise 6 was our first Disney Cruise Line cruise. And let's just say we thought many things could have been better thought out. We got locked in the adults area after our whiskey tasting in the Cove Cafe. And I thought may still be a little bitter about the bartender refusing to make me an old fashioned after my shave in the Hooks Barbery, because he was setting up for a tasting that didn't take place for 45 minutes. But you are missing the most obvious flaw in your theory. Ah, hello. The Disney Wish is Pam Forrester's favorite ship. With how many ships she's been on, she still has made it very clear that this is her favorite ship. We hope to sail a different ship in the future. Right now, we're sailing the Inside Passage on the Discovery Princess for a 5th anniversary. Take care, all. Matt and Mary Rose from Rochester, New York. So what do you think about his theory, though, about that if you sail the Wish first, and Pam, you say the Wish is your favorite right now of all the ships. Mine is currently the Fantasy. If I had to pick, like if they said you can go on any ship, the Fantasy. Ricky, what would you say your favorite ship is of all the ships, if you had to pick?
I would say either probably the Dream or the Fantasy. And yeah, I mean, the Dream was the first ship that obviously I went on. So yeah, I think I would go Dream or Fantasy with that one. I mean, they're sister ships, so I really could take either one at this point.
You know, I think what happened, like his thing with the Hooks Barbery and the setting up,
Yeah,
that could
I
have
can
happened
see
on
how
any
that
ship.
would-
That could have happened on any ship.
Yeah.
You know, I think that sometimes they're just trying to get everything done, knocked down, reset for the next tasting and seminar and all that. I think throw that aside, that could happen on any ship. But let's think about his theory, because the Wish is set up different with like things are spread out around the ship. You know, like everything's not aft for the adults. You know, like as far as nighttime entertainment, you know, it is a different feel to it. So if you are kind of used to the magic, the wonder, the dream, the fantasy, the layout, where you're just super comfortable with that, and you get on the Wish, you kind of have to relearn things. Pam Forrester, what do you say to Matt's theory?
I think it's an interesting thing. I think for me, the reason why I like the Wish the best is I feel like it has more to do, period. And that's what I'm looking for at this point, especially as someone who cruises a few times every year. I mean, I'll be honest, on different lines too. I'm looking for stuff to do. Plus, I really like the concierge level on the Wish. For me, I think that's something that's important, and it's the by far on the Wish, it's fantastic. Like, it's so much better. I can't wait to see what they do with the Dream when they pull it back in. I think there's an opportunity there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know not everyone is going to sail concierge because you're looking to do different things, but on the Wish, when it's on 3 and 4 night sailings, I think that makes it for me what I'm going to choose to do. But that's the thing I like about Disney. Like, there is a ship for everyone. If you're looking for a smaller ship experience, you have the magic and the wonder from which to choose. If you're looking for maybe a different experience than the Wish, and they are a little smaller ships, then you have the Dream and the Fantasy. and then you're going to have the Wish and the Treasure. The other thing I really enjoy about the Wish is that they thought about their spaces and how they can use them for different things. Sometimes on some of the other ships, some of those spaces are sort of locked in for what they were built for, right? They don't have a lot of opportunity to do things. And on the Wish, they do. And the theming in some of those spaces for me really does it. Like, I know maybe you aren't going to go to Hyperspace Lounge 100 times, right? But I think that because it is just a small space, they would have the ability to sort of change that up without maybe taking the whole ship out of commission. I don't know. We'll have to see. It depends on how much needs done. But I really like for instance, how the Bayou Bar, which the name is escaping me, but that space really is sort of out there and can be used for many different things during the day. But I get that everyone's going to have their favorite ship. And sometimes I'm like, I don't always like saying mine because people are like, well, that must be a great one because she travels all the time. It just is when I say it's my favorite, I mean that because it's my favorite for me, for the way that I travel, for the way I travel with my family. So
I like that they're different. Like, I love that they're different.
Yes.
You know, they have,
Me
I
too.
don't like that there's not a track like that goes all the way around. That bugs me to death as a runner, but not everybody's a runner. So I get that. Not every ship's going to be for everybody. Like, that's totally cool. That is me though. That drives me nuts. That is not for everybody though. Like, I just went and used a treadmill and I was totally fine. Cause I run a treadmill every day. It didn't bother. They have great treadmills. They have a huge fitness center. It's awesome on the Wish. And like Hyperspace Lounge was great. What's the place next to it? I forget. Nightingales. That was nice.
Nightingales
we had
beautiful.
We had a martini tasting. Fancy Mike did martini tasting there. It was great. But Tiana's Bayou place was awesome. I mean, it is beautiful.
Right.
I prefer the tube in Evolution though to their adult area. I'll be honest. Like, I mean, there's just things that are just pluses and minuses. To me, the Fancy and the Dream feel bigger than the Wish. I don't know why that is. They feel bigger. It's still,
they're
blows
like
me
singular
away.
spaces sometimes are bigger. I think like the Wish has more intimate settings.
Yeah, it does. It feels like, yeah, it does.
Yes.
And I have this theory that the Wish was developed more during COVID, where like things were more like compact, like they were trying to keep things in like compartmentalized. And maybe I can't imagine though that you would build a ship that's gonna be around for 40 years, like with that in mind, because that was only
Right.
a small segment in time. But I feel like it's a COVID developed ship because it's got smaller spaces. I don't know. That's something I say.
Yeah, and it just has more of them. I think that's probably what they were looking to do, is find a way to fit more unique spaces in. I don't know. Who knows?
It's interesting.
But yeah.
Something
And
to
who
think
knows?
about.
Like, we'll see in a little bit how I feel about the Treasure too. So.
That's true. That's true.
Because
I
the
think
Treasure's the same layout as the Wish, but it's
Yeah.
going to have different aesthetics and different themes.
Right. Different themes.
And I'm super excited for like, the Haunted Mansion overlay in a location, and like the Adventurers Club take kind of experience in Coco, as opposed, I mean, how exhausted will I be in that restaurant compared to woohoo? It's like, dude, I mean, are they going to
enough
kill it?
Frozen. Let's go.
And here's
Let it go for
and
sure.
I had this discussion over dinner the other night with Pam. Will they serve Mexican food in that restaurant?
I believe yes. I believe the menus have come out a little bit. And
Is
I
it going to
believe
be
the answer is yes?
Seriously, like burritos
Yeah.
and
Well, I
tacos
don't know
and-
if it's burritos, but I mean it's Mexican inspired. Like it'll probably be like San Angelin, where it's
Yes,
traditional Mexican dishes,
Mike's.
not-
Oh, hang on.
not like enchiladas or something like that. Like it's gonna be like traditional.
Mike's favorite ship is now the Disney Treasure.
Yeah, that I figured.
You'll have to wait and see. But I think it's just going to be, that they'll continue to innovate in this space, and there'll be things that people like about it and things that people don't about each and every ship. And I think it really is such a personal choice. So.
All right, we're going to leave it there, but the conversation continues right now. So come on over to the Clubhouse, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. Give us updates if you are down in Walt Disney World. If you're in Central Florida, stay safe. We're thinking of you, but hopefully we've entertained you here for a little bit, just kind of take your mind off things. And if you have a question, drop that in the inbox, Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. BeOurGuestPodcast.com. Don't forget, our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure, whether it's down to Walt Disney World, out to Disneyland, sailing with the Disney Cruise Line, or seeing the world with Adventures by Disney. The best part, no additional cost to you and great first-class concierge level service each and every time. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all these shows possible. We could not do this without you. You can support us just $5 a month. And for that, you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Coming over this week, we'd love to have you. Patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give us a follow on the social media. I'm at BeOurGuestMike. Ricky's at Ricky Nibs. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. Instagram, Twitter, Threads. Give us a follow over there. And of course, we'll see you over in the clubhouse. And join us this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central for the BOGP open line. And you can find us in 5 places: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I forgot where we were. But give us a call. We'll be talking Disney this Sunday night to wrap up another fun weekend. All right, we're going to jump out of here. We'll be back again on Friday. Now, on Friday, to counter the $28 egg sandwich that's coming to you at the Cake Bake Shop. And that might be your jam. It's not mine. Jam is probably another $7 upgrade.
I was going to say, is that served with peanut butter?
Good. That was good. I appreciate you. Thank you
problem.
for on your game.
Mm-hmm.
You just made me almost lose my train of thought there. I'm wrapping things. I'm trying to land the plane, but you almost messed me up there, Smuckers. It has to be good. One more plug. But here's the deal. To counter, you got to have a yin and a yang. The big price is over at the Cake Bake Shop. We're looking for the best value in dining at Walt Disney World. We're not looking for the cheapest, but where you get the best bang for your buck when it comes to both counter service and table service around Walt Disney World. So we're going to have that discussion on Friday. So come on back, because we want to make those dollars go farther when it comes to your filling that tummy at Walt Disney World. So be ready. We're talking dining on Friday and getting your most value for your buck. We good? We talking Uncrustables again? I don't think so. Maybe.
No, probably
Who knows?
not.
It could come up. You never know.
Who
knows? Who knows? We'll definitely talk Mexican food. All right, so come on back Friday. Until then, for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great Wednesday. Y'all stay safe. Seriously, please do. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.